But we're waiting on them to get back to us with the building permit before we can start actually, putting in foundations and building the cabin. So that's okay, because in the meantime, there's a lot of prep work to do. We've been pulling out old appliances that don't work. We're trying to get the barge out of the water there. Looks a little, looks like the ice in the winter pushed it up onto shore, so it's a little underwater at the back. No water in there at all?
None.
So much for that idea.
It's insane. This is the biggest hail we've ever seen. Our deal is, if he really messes it up, I'm gonna give him a buzz cut.
Roughly the same as mine, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't mess it up.
Or else he gets buzzed.
We head back to civilization for a couple of days, but the main reason we went down there is because I had a talk to give for a fundraiser for the Orangeville Hospital. But we wanted to really change our customers' lives and change the world by just trying to create a remarkable experience for people. A company called nveoffroad.ca, you gotta check them out. They sent us some pretty wicked headlights. We haven't even seen them yet. Nice! Whoa, hopefully she runs okay, let me see. Uh-oh. Welcome to another episode of
The Epic Family Road Trip.
On this episode, we head back to civilization for a couple of days. First off, to drop off the Jeep at our mechanic to get some work done. We're dropping off the Jeep. We just towed it down from the island. A friend of ours is a mechanic and does repairs, so the Jeep needs a couple of things. One of the ball joints, when we're in four-wheel drive, it's making a clicking sound. We're having some battery issues, so he'll take care of that. The radiator, back about a year ago when we were in Wanaka, New Zealand, it started leaking a bit of rad fluid, and so we went into town and bought a liquid plug, I guess, and we put that in, and it's been good ever since. It's crazy, we didn't think it would last this long. It lasted for the rest of the New Zealand trip and all around North America. But I think it's time to get the rad replaced or checked, and just a couple other things. Our headlights went out, got smashed on while we were towing through rocks and so on. So time to get some TLC and loving care towards our good old Jeep. It's been really good for us. We got to take care of it. But the main reason we went down there is because I had a talk to give for a fundraiser for the Orangeville Hospital. This is for a group called the Innovators, and these are amazing entrepreneurs and philanthropists who are so dedicated to giving and raising money for the hospital and for all the wonderful things they do there. We're headed into the Devil's Pulpit Golf Club, and I'm doing a speaking event. It's a fundraiser for the hospital, a really neat group of young business people and philanthropists that have invited me to tell our story. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so how many in the room, by a show of hands, have at least 9 siblings, all the same gender, no twins, and one set of parents? Don't be shy. On this side of the room? No. Okay, how about over there? Nobody. Okay, well, I guess it's just me. I have 9 brothers. There's all 10 of us. That's right. You've heard of the Jackson 5, right? The Osmonds were 6, but instead of starting a band, what the Van Stralen brothers did is we started the next best thing. We started mowing lawns. And we didn't have any money. I was about 18, my brother, or 17, my brother in the front there, Tim, he was 18. We didn't have any money, so we borrowed a lawnmower off my dad, and we started mowing lawns in our neighborhood. So CARE was really what we stood for, and Sean shared that. We came up with an acronym. We said we need to be about something, and it needs to be articulated so clearly that everybody on the team, when asked, what do you guys stand for, what do you do, they could answer it quickly. And that stood for customers first. And over time, it went to customers first, colleagues, and our community. So we show that we care by putting the needs of our customers, our colleagues, and our community first. The A, as Sean shared, stood for attitude. We look for people with a positive and helpful attitude. R was respect. We treat everyone and everything with respect. And then E was to enjoy life in the process. Enjoy life while we're doing all these things, while we're working hard. And it also became a second acronym. So we articulated clearly 8 principles. And the first one was create a remarkable experience. And so CARE really took on a meaning for us. When I went around and asked people, what do you get paid to do? They would say, well, I get paid to mow lawns, I guess. And I'd say, no, you get paid to create a remarkable experience. And that became an attitude. I could go anywhere and ask any employee, what do you get paid to do? And immediately they'd say, to create a remarkable experience. You know, Maya Angelou said, they're probably going to forget what you say. They're going to forget what you did for them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. And that was what we wanted to do. We were mowing lawns. It's not the most romantic work on earth, but we wanted to really change our customers' lives and change the world by just trying to create a remarkable experience for people. Now, before heading north, we had to pick up some ground screws, which is really the foundation for the new addition on the cabin. Now, we had a big plan to rent a trailer and pick up the screws and drive up north and then bring the trailer all the way back. And then we thought, wait a minute, we might be able to just get creative here and put all 18 screws into the motorhome. It worked. We had to use the bed, we put down some padding and so on, and we were able to get all 18 screws into the motorhome. She was loaded down pretty hard, but it worked. We didn't have to go through all that hassle of renting a trailer and then returning it. So we're happy we got the screws up here. Next, we headed to our mechanic to pick up the Jeep. Now, when we arrived, we saw the new headlights. Man, what a surprise. Those things look awesome. They're so creative. Just check this out. We're just coming in to pick up our Jeep. We've had a bunch of work done on it, fixed up the U-joints, all kinds of stuff. But a company called EFRT.ca, you got to check them out. They sent us some pretty wicked headlights. We haven't even seen them yet. We're coming up, but our mechanic said he absolutely loves them. So let's go check them out. Let's see what they sent us. And we're going to give them a good field test. Nice. These lights by EFRT.ca. You got to check them out. Look at this. Tell us what we got here.
Yeah, so that's a beautiful flat black finish, and that's a daytime lighting light strip that runs with your grill lights, make it look really good.
That's just the running lights.
That's just the running lights, yeah. To look good, look cool.
It does look good. That's awesome.
Wow. And that would be your low beams.
That's your low beam.
Yeah, your running lights. You see, I think that's 2 rows of 10 LEDs.
And then high beam.
That's the fog lights, also LEDs.
Make sure you go to mveoffroad.ca to get yourself a set. So good job, Benny. Well done. How was it installing?
It was actually a really straightforward installation. They have actually really nice waterproof adapters that makes it a really plug-and-play installation. Anybody can do it in the backyard, and they look really beautiful. Like you said, like the white LEDs make a really high-quality headlight.
Hey, this is Benny Tail. He's our mechanic who did some work on the Jeep. He's got a company called URO Performance, and he specializes in all kinds of high-performance vehicles, some especially European models, but yeah, like BMWs and Audis, but of course really cool Jeeps as well. Like this one here, and he did some work on it.
That's right.
We've been around the world with the Jeep, and it hadn't been in for some much-needed repair. So let us know what you did to get us back on the road.
Okay, very cool. Well, so first things first, the vehicle didn't have AC, and wherever you guys travel, you need AC, obviously. So what we did, we leak tested the whole system, and we found that the AC condenser on the front had a leak. So we removed the front end off the vehicle, we replaced it, evacuated the system, and we charged it up with fresh refrigerant, and now you have blown cold AC. And we installed these headlights for you guys.
Very nice. Yeah. And then when in four-wheel drive, we were getting a clicking sound. So what happened down there? Yeah,
so the drive shaft, the front drive shaft, the U-joint, because it's lifted, it had a joint, it's a velocity joint at the transfer case side, and it had a lot of play in it. There was a lot of sand and grit inside of it, so that was really bad. Where now what we did, we took that out, we cleaned up the shaft, and we put a new one in, sealed it up, and it's like new.
Perfect. Good. And then the 2 4-wheel drive U-joints?
And both U-joints, yeah, they were just worn out and a bit rusty. We put new ones in.
So we've had this Jeep and those U-joints driving on the 90-mile beach in New Zealand, and we've been on the beaches on the Pacific Ocean and all over the place. So now he's got it repaired and ready to go. So, all right, thanks for your help.
All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by.
After picking up the Jeep and hitching it up to the RV, we began heading north. Now, we knew we wouldn't get all the way up north, so along the way, we found an en route, which is like a rest stop or a truck stop. And we pulled over there to spend the night. haven't done this in a while. We're staying at a kind of like a truck stop. It's called En Route here in Ontario. There's truck stops all over North America, and if you're just traveling through, you don't want to stop at a camp and hook up, and you don't need water, you don't need electricity and all that, then these are perfect. They can be a little noisy, so it takes a while to get used to having a big diesel running beside you, but great way to spend the night if you're just kind of closing your curtains, going to sleep, and getting up early. That's the plan. We got to get up north, so we're gonna get a couple hours of sleep and then head north bright and early. Had a great sleep last night and got a coffee, and we're heading north. After a couple of hours drive, we were back at the lake. Man, it's so nice to get back here. This is just one of the most relaxing places on the entire planet. And the first thing we did was get the barge and head back to the marina to start picking up our first load of lumber. All right, so we're back up at the island and we're driving the barge that we freed up last week. And she's a slow mover, but it can take a lot of weight. So we're heading out to pick up some of the lumber that's, oh, hopefully she runs okay. Let me see. Oh. Well, we didn't get too far. We got that far. It's about 50 feet and the engine stopped, so I just got to check what's going on.
She's alive!
All right, we got it going again. It was just a kink in the gas line. I bought a new gas line. You can see it lying there. I'm going to put that on, but since then it's been going pretty good. I think we're off to the races. Pete and Mom are following in the little boat just to make sure we don't break down, but I think we're good to go. This thing's ready to haul some lumber.
Ready.
That's a lot of wood. What are we building here? I guess it's right. Somebody did the measurements. We had an architect draw it, so we'll just trust they got it right. But I think you got the second cabin, which is really exactly the same size as the original cabin. But then what we're forgetting is that whole screen and porch is equally that big again. So all the treated wood is for the decking. It's the fun part. We're offloading the boat now. We made it with a nice load of, we had the ground screws and a whole bunch of lumber. We've got it stacked up there now. We have about 7 more loads, so it's gonna take all day tomorrow and maybe a bit the next day, but bit by bit we're getting it in. So these are the ground screws that are gonna become part of the foundation. So we're excited, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Good job.
These are our nails to hold all our paintings on the wall.
Is that for holding paintings on the wall? Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, so the building project has begun. And then we offloaded that load, and then we went back to get another load before nightfall. What's the plan, Dan?
We need to drive the barge, and Peter's taking the little boat with some stuff we need bringing to the RV. But we're driving the barge, and we're gonna pull it up to the dock, and then we're gonna have to offload all the wood by hand and stack it up here, and then drive it back, and then offload it from there and stack it up there, and then we keep repeating that like a couple times until we got all the wood, and then we start building.
quite a load on. We just have to put a bit more to balance it because we don't want it sitting on an angle. I'd say about, I don't know, I'd guess about four to six more loads. The rain is really nice to cool us down. We did the first load this morning and it started raining and the kids are like, oh man, it's raining. That means we have to go into the cabin and cook some delicious food and watch The Hobbit. Oh, I mean, someone's got to do it, I guess, right?
So cozy.
The next day we began the demolition of the old buildings, or the little additions that are on the back of the building. Those had to be removed before we could put in the ground screws and start building the new addition. And that turned out to be a lot of work. We had no idea. I mean, it looks like a small little addition. That's where the kids used to sleep. Once we started getting into it, it was a lot of work. But you know what? We're proud to say we got it done. No sooner had we got that work done than the boys' friends and cousins, about 50 guys from Ottawa, where their cousin Stefan lives, and from Hockley Valley, where all their other cousins live, and all their friends came up to the island, and they are having an amazing time doing some skeet shooting. They're doing some windsurfing, paddleboarding, kayaking, tubing, cliff jumping, wakeboarding, just really enjoying the lake and all the water sports available. So we couldn't count on them to do any work when all those people are here, and that's understandable. I mean, if I was their age, I'd probably want to hang out with my family and friends.
The first board.
The first board. How you doing? When your cousins and friends come up to play, what do? You put them to work. They want to use the boat, so I guess that's the price of using the barge. You gotta empty it off. But the few extra hands makes the job easy. Took down the old, I guess it was just a little porch off the back, and we're going to try to preserve as much of the logs as possible. You can see these are all hand hewn, but they debarked them by hand way back in the 40s, so hopefully we can reuse the wood for building a bed or something inside, a piece of furniture, I don't know. I'm sure we can use it for something. That's the end of the roofing. It's nice to be done, I think. I mean, there's a little bit more cleanup to be done, but we'll leave that up to the framers because they know where the new roof line is going to be and everything. Just got to get rid of this deck, dig down a bit of the dirt, and then it's time to start installing the screws. And that becomes the foundation for the new floor. We got to truck in some more wood today too. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Stay tuned for next week. We got a lot of awesome things going on. We've got the ground screws going in, which is the foundation. They're going to start building the floor, framing up the walls, putting on the roof. It's going to be an exciting week. It's also next week Caroline's 18th birthday. We're so looking forward to that. That's going to be a fun time up here on the lake. We thank each and every one of you, our 17,000 plus subscribers. Make sure you share our channel with somebody who's interested in family life, in travel, in adventure lifestyle, in off-the-grid living, whatever it is. We hope to be your inspiration for doing amazing, epic things with your family. And in the meantime, we'll see you down the road.